Okay. Thank you both. We'll move on to the consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and can be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items prior to the time the council votes on the motion unless members of the council, staff, or public request items to be discussed or removed from the consent calendar for individual action. And we've noted that item 12 has been asked to be removed at this time. Is there any comments from the council on any consent item? Any comments from the public? Any comments from the public? Any online?
No public comment.
Then I bring it back to the council for action.
Through the mayor,
Yes, sir.
let's move to approve the consent calendar, item 5 through 28, minus 12.
Okay, have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second from Councilmember Harris. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. We will now take up agenda item 12, which is appointments to the City Council regional boards and committees. It says presented by me. I did what has always been done in past and prepared the committee assignments for the year, but I will defer any comments at this time to Councilwoman Espindola as she asked for it to be pulled. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. I certainly appreciate the opportunity to bring this forward. Can we open up for public comment?
I will after you're done with yours.
I would certainly have this moment for all of you to understand that these committee assignments are challenging for any mayor to decide on where and how we are selected to be placed. And in the notification of this, it came to be that the work under Sutter Butte's Flood Control Agency is one of the committees that I'm asking for a discussion or review on this, a consideration for maybe a council member to switch with me if this would be so a willing decision that we can entertain at the council today, and if we can open it up for public comment.
All right. Any further comments from the council at this time? All right, we will open it up to the public. I have 3 cards. Todd Kimmelsu, did I get it correct? Mm-hmm. All right.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the City Council. My name is Todd Kimmelshoe. I'm a Butte County Supervisor and current chair of the Sutter Butte's Flood Control Agency. I'm here tonight because I know you're making community assignments, and I want to advocate to keep Grace Espindola on the board of SBUFCA. We call it SBUFCA. I don't know if you like all these acronyms, but that's what we call it, Sutter Butte's Flood Control Agency. Grace is currently the vice chair in Yuba City, is rotating the chair position for 2022. So Grace would be our chair. Our hope is that Grace will become the new chair of SBUFCA. Grace has been on the SBUFCA board for over 3 years now and has gained considerable knowledge of the importance of the agency as well as the complicated nature of the work that we do. She's got very good working relationship with SBUFCA Executive Director Michael Bassett. We all know in politics how important relationships are. Grace has formed relationships with Butte County leaders, including the Board of Supervisors and the mayors of both Biggs and Gridley. In addition to members of Levy District 1 and 9, Charlie Hoppinen is here, as well as Mike Morris, to support Grace. Not to mention high-level members of the Department of Water Resources. Continuity is very important to the organization, and Grace provides that. Grace regularly attends every monthly meeting and the executive meetings and has been intimately involved in the recent passage of the agency's updated strategic plan and the ongoing Regional Development Impact Fee Program and various grant pursuits the agency is involved with. Grace will be a key advocate for 2022 as the agency aggressively pursues state and federal grants and will be leaned upon to actively engage in those meetings with potential grantors. Finally, the Sutter Butte's Flood Control Agency provides flood protection, which saves property and even saves lives. We oversee a multi-million-dollar projects and are looking for more in the future. I'm very proud of what this organization has accomplished, and Grace has been a big part of that. So I would appreciate your time tonight, and I hope that you consider my request to have Grace remain on the Center Buttes Flood Control Agency Board of Directors. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. We will have Charlie Hoppen.
I'm Charlie Hoppen, Sutter County farmer, Levy District 1's representative to the Sutter Butte Flood Control Agency. I understand the authority here, so Mr. Shaw, I'm assuming I'm addressing you personally and not the entire board, but I will follow in Todd's words. Grace has been a very productive member of our board and is due to rotate into chair. We have some very serious issues with the state of California right now is regards to funding on emergency repairs in the Sutter bypass. Grace has participated in that. She's attended every one of our meetings, and I understand that given the structure of your board, it's necessary to rotate members to us. Sean has been a very productive member and past chair to our board. I think Todd hit on a very critical word, and that's continuity. I think Grace is prepared to be board chair. After that time, if rotations happen, I think that's all good and well, but I would ask you to consider leaving her on the board at least for another term so she can fill out her obligation as chair of the board and we can maintain that continuity. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Mark Molnar.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. I just want to speak on behalf of Grace Espindola. This is real easy for me. Grace is a hard worker. To take nothing from any of you, you're all hard workers. I recognize that you have a job to do. I can say that continuity, and I'm sorry, I'm Mark Molnar, the business manager of Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union. I jumped right in there a little too fast. I apologize. Sean, he was in his infinite wisdom appointed to that board a couple years ago. Mr. Boomgarden continued that. And with the continuity that Grace is having and going to bring to the board, I currently went to a Sabufka meeting. I believe we were talking about the levee districts and all the issues that are coming up. It's going to be important that we're all a part of this to try to get this done. If you could please consider the continuity and consider the importance and the people that are asking you to please consider this. I'll leave it in your hands. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All righty, thank you. Do we have any more comments from the public? Any more comments from the public? Any online?
No public comment.
Okay, and that I'll bring it back to the council. Any comments from the council? Hearing none, I will make a couple of comments. First of all, as far as the committee assignments, they are put together by the mayor, but they have to be ratified by this council. So it's not a sole decision of myself. There's a lot more that goes into the decision process than the length of time someone has been on a particular committee. It has to look at what's in the best interest of the city going forward, has to look at what is the best interest overall for this community. And as I've already said, I made the committee assignments, and Councilman Harris has chaired Sabufka before. He's been on it. And I know we're scheduled to go through the chairs again. So you've got a well-experienced wealth of knowledge there in Councilmember Harris. You also get the continuity and the synergy that he also sets as our representative on SACOG. So he has a ton of connections in Sacramento. And the thinking behind the other part is my vice mayor is, the vice mayor and Councilman Harris are the only two that's guaranteed to be here in another 11 months because there's an election coming up. We need the continuity going forward. And so that's the reason I appointed the vice mayor, and that's my rationale behind it. And so I appreciate every one of you coming. It's nothing about, Councilwoman Espindola, it's nothing about your work, nothing about your commitment. It is the discretion of the mayor to make the appointments. And I did it and took a couple of months to really think it through and figure out where would be the best fit, because that's really the toughest job to do here. So with that, I would like to close the public comments.
Through the mayor, I'd like to just say a final statement as you close that section of the conversation, please.
Go ahead.
I thoroughly thank you for the community that came out to say those remarks in support of the work that we're doing with Sutter Buttes Flood Control Agency. It has been a tremendous gift to be able to work amongst all of you and continue to do that work, because even though as the determination by my colleagues, the council are not interested in changing the assignments at this point, and I respect that. I can accept it. And just to know that that work will continue on, and those relationships will continue to flourish in other forums and other ways. And Supervisor Kimmelshoe, I certainly appreciate, because I know Butte County, we have quite a bit of work that we're still moving towards on that. And Mike Morris and Mark Mulliner, I appreciate your time to be here. And Charlie Hopkin, who just left, not probably enjoying the answer of that outcome. But I can accept it, and we move on. I'd be happy to share. I know Mike Bissett does an excellent job and will bring you forward with a lot of information. I've been on there 3 years, and it's taken me that long to really understand the structural pieces of that committee. And as a community, I want you to know that I have represented you with your safety and the safety of this community always in mind. So I thank you so much for allowing me to continue to do this work, and I'll do it in other committees.
Thank you. And final comment on that before I call for a motion is she nailed it on the head. Just because we do or do not sit on a committee or a commission, the relationships are always there. The synergies are always there. Our roles up here are not identified strictly by what committees and commissions we sit on. So thank you, Grace, for your time and your service. And it's still not a done deal. So at this point, I will open the floor for a motion, whatever that may be.
Through the mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the city council assignments and regional boards and committees for calendar year 2022.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Can I do a roll call?
Roll call vote, please.
Vice Mayor Kirchner,
Yes.
Councilmember Baumgarten,
Yes.
Councilmember Espindola,
No.
Councilmember Harris, Mayor Shaw.
Yes. Okay, the committee assignments are assigned for the year. Thank you all.